자, 아침 6시 반이 좀 지났는데 영어방에서 책 좀 읽겠습니다. Ritalin is not the answer. A drug-free practical program for children diagnosed with ADD or ADHD. Use time out everywhere. Time out should be used in all situations and all circumstances. The Money Answer Book. Quick answer for your everyday financial question. Here are simple rules for starting a cash envelope system. Eat the shoes and the leaves. The zero tolerance approach to punctuation. Non-writers are wary of both the colon and the semicolon, though partly because all this rarefied debate rages above their heads. The goal. The best-selling business novel that introduced a theory of constraint and changed how America does business. It was killed at the division level. Discipline without stress, punishment, or rewards. How teachers and parents promote responsibility and learning. Neuroscientists refer to this as operating in a modular fashion with an autonomous system devoted to different mental acts. Family Incorporated, how to manage parents, siblings, spouses, children, and in-laws in the family business. If that's the case, here's our advice. Run, don't walk. Moving up, stand up, speak up, look up, book up, kiss up. Forgiveness, forgiveness, forgiveness is so crucial in all the areas of our lives. Primetime women, how to win the hearts, minds, and the business of boomer big spenders. Alabama and Tennessee have spent billions of dollars developing golf courses and other facilities designed by retirees. Yeah, Officer app calmly wrote the ticket. New York encounter. Did we mention the special kids section where all exhibits are touchy-feely and interactive? Aspects of Britain and the USA. Freed from greed, the past decade brought growth, avarice, and anything goes attitudes. What your second grader needs to know? Fundamentals of a good second grade education. Once there, he thinks the country so full of marvels that he starts a new city, which he plans to come back to later. Sink or swim. Yeah, they've deteriorated and we need to replace them. Perfect principle ESL, everyday business life. Networking involves building a group of business and personal contacts. street smart adventures on the road and in the market. This was a crime virtually unheard of in the futures of the industry. We recommend your seatbelt fastened throughout the flight for unexpected turbulence. Happiness, unlocking the mysteries of psychological wealth. The rapid and complete adaptation of spinal cord injury victims is like a psychological insurance policy for the rest of us in case we ever suffer a terrible accident. Essential visual history of world mythology. A nymph. Trump, think the big. Make it happen in business and life. Ohio State never caught up. Who gave him a smattering of Latin. Not anything it the wasp. Scientists who studied the physics of gas liquid mixtures would like to understand, for example, what happens when there is no buoyancy to bring the bubbles to the surface of a fizzy liquid, and the characteristic of fermentation in microgravity. The Guide to Basic Resume Writing, expert advice on the proper use of email address and the correspondence, supervising other people, children or adults. Zero Fail, the rise and the fall of the Secret Service. That didn't always make them good managers. Rich kid or the smart kid, giving your child a financial head start. As stated earlier, my real dad had the vocabulary of a school teacher, and my rich dad had the vocabulary of a person in business and investing. Flight to the plan. The real secret of success. How to achieve more faster than you ever dreamed possible. Chapter 8, Accelerate Your Learning and Progress. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye. Hog pilot to the blue water. Grunts. The American military in the air, at sea, and on the ground. There was, too, the phenomenon of how new hardware, in this case, the Streaker combat vehicle, was facilitating a change in relationship between captains in the field and the mayors and the lieutenant colonel back at battalion headquarters. The family, the secret fundamentalism at the heart of American power. He sent teams to pray in front of the homes of supposed witches. In 1 month, 10 out of 15 of his targets put their houses on the market. The history, the magic of Niagara. The battle was trapped for 9 days and was then removed by a crane for safety reasons. The best American essays. But would Darwin agree? Mastering the 7 decisions that determine personal success. This is a classic example of conditioning. People doing things because that's the way they've always been done. The signal and the noise. Why so many predictions fail, but some don't. Never. Don't. Nate the Silver could turn out to be one of the more momentous books of the decade. The crowd in the auditorium burst into robust applause. It had been a well-played game, much more so than the first ones, and the Deep Blues checkmate did not seem quite as inevitable to them as it had to Kasvapo. It was surely because they hadn't thought about the poison as deeply as he had. The turbulent true story of a first year at Harvard Law School. I took out my notebook and wrote the passage which appears at the front of this book. Post-COVID Asia, deglobalization, fourth industrial revolution, and sustainable development. Therefore, the retreat of the world economy from pinnacle globalization may herald the new golden era of virtual globalization. How to be richer, smarter, and better looking than your parents. This shouldn't cost more than $10, and you can also probably find a free one on Craigslist or on my street corner once I'm done cleaning the basement. World Club Cup competition for clubs. The first club competition was the Football Association Cup, the FA Cup, in 1872. Knock your socks off service at the recovery. Guest service performers must be able to create a relationship with the audience. Synchronicity, the inner path of leadership. On this occasion, in February 1988, a member invited Norman to explain to us the process of scenario planning used by the Royal Dutch Shell Group of companies. How the feel the fear and do it anyway. Dynamic techniques for turning fear, indecision, and anger into power, action, and love. The way in which a man accepts his fate and all the suffering it entails, the way in which he takes up his cross, give him ample opportunity, even in the most difficult circumstances, to add a deeper meaning to his life. A manual for writers of research papers, thesis, and dissertation. Chicago style for students and researchers. Presenting dating text involve many of the same concerns as in 23 and 23.2, but also some convention for ordering and naming elements. The Big Shot inside the Doomsday Machine. How would you know? How would you know? A daily rate. And the Miss H knew the hard-working singer's thought was that she would make a cheerful, clean house and good food, and give the rest of them a chance to try and help save the poor city hidden borders. For M looked upon all native city borders as hidden in the truest sense of the word, and she had taken with joy a few words Miss H had spoken to her about the mission they were going to try to start, the mission of making one bright little clean home spot for a few people who had hitherto been in discomfort. The three tension, probability versus growth, whole versus past, short-term versus long-term. I recognize this behavior completely. This is your brain on music, thus science of human obsession. Because they preserve context, multiple trace memory models can also explain how we sometimes retrieve old and nearly forgotten memories. I like the giving, the transforming power of generous life, practical ideas, inspiring stories. Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed. Anatomy of an illness. How one man proved your mind can cure your body. As perceived by the patient. Reflection on healing and regeneration by Norman. And in the Amazonian sense, self-reliance created self-respect. Quit like a millionaire, no gimmicks, luck, or trusted fund required. And that's when I discovered the mindset that would ultimately save me, the freedom mindset. The 10 Commandments of money. Survive and thrive in the new economy. Your home is not a piggy bank. And you don't want to find out, after it's far too late, that you could have had a much better retirement if you'd just boosted your 401k contribution a couple of percentage points. Grand Pursuit, the story of economic genius. Thanks to the large exportable surplus of foodstuffs in America, Europe had been able to feed herself cheaply. The Healing Code. 6 minutes to heal the source of your health, success, or relationship issue. Secret number 6, I believe. Yeah, in the last chapter, we talk about how the stimulus response system set up a belief system that is formed early in life. Think like a champion. My theory is take your work seriously, take yourself less seriously. It's a great recipe for some good times and great memories. In search of a lost American childhood, Tommy damn gone. The two of us stood on the second floor kitchen steps, looking out into the yard and the Sugar Beach Road and beyond. Living Free, the most famous, remarkable, and lovable lioness of all time. It was a glorious morning, the air still brisk, and the beautiful clouds which usually pattern the Kenya sky on even the brightest days had not yet had time to form. Emotional valleys, transforming fear, anger, and jealousy into creative energy. Man started cutting from the very loose any possibility of woman's growth. Why men don't have a clue, and women always need more shoes, the ultimate guide to the opposite sex. The next chapter will show you how to improve your attractiveness and explain why so many men zoom in on women with IQs lower than their shoe size and don't give you a second chance. One last question, Governor. Now you are back on Earth again. Will you tell our listeners which is really home to you, Earth or Moon? As a peace-loving global citizen, Moon he called. Though they cannot be seen, I am preaching to thousands, even tens of thousands. It was a wild, blank night and very, very cold. Secrets of the baby whisper, how to calm, connect, and communicate with your baby. A reassuring guide for new parents, one that calms the baby and restores peace to the household. This way, anyone with the code can get the key, enter, see the property, and leave without your being there. Guided to the student at the shop. Crouch, crouch. I rented the bedrooms to my son and daughter while he was going to college and she was finishing law school. The essentials. So was the idea of becoming preeminent in certain businesses. The 21 irreputable laws of leadership. Follow them and people will follow you. That way everyone, regardless of position or starting status, got it experience playing together, a critical priority for Wooden's development of total teamwork. The 10 Commandments of money: survive and thrive in the new economy. Your home is not a piggy bank. Get a college education you can afford. The Way of the World, a story of truth and hope in an age of extremism. At lunchtime, demonstrators gather in West London near the Pakistani embassy. How to Write It, a complete guide to everything you'll ever write. Divide the task into its component parts. Making sense. Conversation on consciousness, morality, and the future of humanity. So we have a situation where the fact that there's no dispute resolution mechanism I can rely on, one that will protect me and my family and my household, lead me to want to take matters into my own hands. Crossroad to the USA, discovering American culture and language with the daily newspaper. The Ace of the Habit, from effectiveness to greatness. Characters in the long run is the decisive factor in the life of an individual and of nations alike. Winning the customer, turning consumers into fans and get them to spend more. At that moment, I knew that Tom was a relationship architect. What are some bits of the consideration people should be aware of if they are thinking about moving from an online store to a retail location? Location really is everything in brick and mortar. Don't settle until you find the hottest one. You'll now lead a local on-the-ground marketing plan. Fear. Trump in the White House. You took me back in your secure facility. Straight talk, no chaser. How to find, keep, and understand the man. But there's no excuse for us to let ourselves to force you to feel like you have to continue level 10 sexual attraction to us when we know good and well we look like we are barely on the deserving end of level 5. The sheer bulk of big cities slows the cleansing winds. At the same time, rising city heat help to create summer inversions, warm air above cold that can trap smoke for days, a crisis that in 1963 killed 400 New Yorkers. Performing under pressure, the science of doing your best when it matters most. An interesting study using individuals who were extremely allergic to poison ivy offers an important insight. Since there were no radios, loudspeakers, or walkie-talkies at that time, Civil War soldiers relied on the sound of the bugle or drums to tell them when to wake up, when to march, when to attack, and when to take cover. Classic essential seafood. Melt 60 grams butter in a pan. Japanese recipe. Divide the rice among 4 medium bowls. Faces of the USA. There is no real proof, they say, and the blood on the screen continued to flow. Re-energizing the corporation, how leaders make change happen. What does your poem look like, feel like, taste like, smell like, sound like? The power of moments. If Stewart doesn't hit the sales target, he won't win the award, period. Hidden figures. Kay certainly acknowledged the value of those 3 rationalities, but for her, it was the one listed on the first page of the brochure that resonated most. Humans pined to go into space because of their longing to know what lay beyond the confines of their own small world. They desired to leave us out of a compelling urge to go where no human had gone before. Your boss is the most powerful man in finance. You are his protege. His 10th in the last 6 months. The end of illness. Your brain, the tumors on vitamin C. Let's flash forward a few hundred years of 1996 when I was Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center in New York, working in the laboratory of David Gold, MD, who was the physician-in-chief at the time. The power of speaking with a purpose and vision. Say it like Obama and the win. In other areas, such as in fiction writing, a good practice might be to build up to a climax and then wind down. Yes or no, the guide to better decision that makes sense. I will teach you to be rich, no guilt, no excuse, no BS, just a 6-week program that works. Getting your hands dirty, choosing and buying your investment. By now, you should know what you want to invest in, a life cycle fund or index funds. Rethinking patent law, understanding patent misuse, in tracing the intersection of a patent, contract, and antitrust law. All laws lead to patent misuse. Powerful, building a culture of freedom and responsibility, but they all wanted to stay at AOL. The betrayal of American prosperity. free market delusion, Americans' decline, and how we must compete in the post-dollar era. The notion that the board must somehow balance the interest of stockholders against the interest of other stakeholders fundamentally misconstrue the role of directors. The active reader reading for meaning. Engineer, a person who designed the way things such as electrical equipment and machines are built. Do you know these words? The road to character. When Monica intervened and got rid of the woman so Augustine could marry a rich girl of an appropriate social class, he seems to have suffered. She was an obstacle to my marriage. The woman I lived with for so long was torn out of my side. My heart, to which she had been grafted, was lacerated, wounded, shedding blood, lacerated. Insane is simple, the obsession that drives Apple's success. They believe Apple operates with a disturbing arrogance. Real food for dogs. 50 vet-approved recipes to please the canine gastronome. It's time to celebrate these fish, and what better way than with some of these fantastic feasts. Great essays. To summarize, computer technology has three main positive effects on higher education: lecture variety, easy research, and time-saving writing. Boom yourself for the solid. Go to your favorite online publication, browse through today's articles, and when you find one that is relevant to someone in your network, send it to them with a note as suggested earlier. Seven Steps to Revolutionary Leadership from Alexander Hamilton and the Founding Fathers. Maybe you've discovered that your company's business practices are unethical. The 5 rituals of wealth, proven strategies for turning the little you have into more than enough. The ultimate wealth building tool, dollar cost averaging. The ASJA Guide to Freelance Writing, a professional guide to the business for non-fiction writers of all experience levels, affairs and essays, leveraging your knowledge. A mother's healing power of touch. The aircraft had become an aggressive weapon. Disciplined dreaming, a proven system to drive breakthrough creativity. Others may be small improvements that, when added together, also lead to meaningful results. The science of success. Decision right. Markets maximize benefits when they are supported by externally enforced property right rules that prohibit taking without giving in return. My life at the end list. an illustrated journal to record your loves, goals, plus dreams. Cheer up, Buttercup. Can't remember what I forgot. The good news from the front lines of memory research. Inside the store, the shelves were stocked with minted Milanos and the hostess tea and planters, peanuts and Fritos and Dr. P and Coke. Traffic, why we drive the way we do, and what it says about us. A surprising, enlightening look at the psychology of human beings behind the steering wheels. Required reading for anyone applying for a driver's license. Both the promise and the limits of real-time traffic and routing information were demonstrated to me one day as I drove on Interstate 95 in Connecticut, using real-time traffic information provided by Telenav via a Motorola and mobile phone. The first 20 hours, how to learn anything fast. Lots of books promise to change your life. This one actually will. After a total of 8 hours of research and installation, I'm now running the latest version of Ruby. I can install and the library I need, and I have a basic understanding how Ruby programs work. Center stage. The girl with the mic wrapped things up. The positive power of negative thinking, using defensive pessimism to harness anxiety and perform at your peak, even when reality justifies that feeling, increase anxiety, and lead to giving up. The USA and the Cold War, 1945–63, American military power also remained an important tool of containment. In defense of food, an Eater's Manifesto. Now all this might be tolerable if eating by the right of nutritionism made up, if not happier, then at least healthier. Global tilt, leading your obedience through the great economic power shift. The CEO keeps increasing the demand on me, but my people are limited. I can't get any relief. Rich dad to the poor dad. What the rich teach their kids about money, that the poor and the middle class do not. It looked old. Hire and keep the best people. 21 practical and proven techniques you can use immediately. Make them feel important. Imagine that every person in your company is wearing a sign around his or her neck all day long that says, "Make me feel important." 2,600 pages for setting effective performance goals. Ready-to-use pages that really get results. Teach team members to rely more on documentation than on their memories. coaching for innovation, tools and techniques for encouraging new ideas in the workplace, as well as moving along the continuum of styles from directive to participatory, remembering to delegate when appropriate and influence when needed. You now, of course, have the additional option of employing coaching as one of the management styles you use. The death and life of great American cities. Presumably obsolete, the frame house seems to be too far gone to lure out savings and to instigate borrowing. Talking to strangers, what we should know about the people we don't know. They walked around the town and talked to whomever they could. Knock your socks off answers, solving customer nightmares and soothing nightmare customers. Dog food is dog food, isn't it? "100 Facts of the Pyramid." The priest placed the mummy back inside his coffin, which was put into a stone sarcophagus. Barack Obama, the audacity of hope, sought on reclaiming the American dream. Cruel histories that had been deposited there at the confluence of the free and enslaved, the world of Huck and the world of Jim. Manufacturing's wake-up call, the challenge for U.S. competitiveness, the rise of digital fabrication. Still, the data shows clearly that U.S. manufacturing as a whole has great potential to rebound. The life and the times of the Thunderbolt kids. What we worry. The woman listed as the Julia, 70, seemed dazed after a long coma, ended Sunday night, but otherwise appeared in good condition and said, the best American short stories. I don't imagine even she can see herself getting on a long plane ride anytime soon. What the world is laughing at now. I never imagined the pursuit of perfume would take me on such a fascinating journey. The full catastrophe living, using the wisdom of your body and mind to face stress, pain, and illness. Working with the symptom, listening to your body. They are used primarily to relieve symptoms of discomfort, and they work very well in most of the instances. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. Selling when no one is buying, growing prospect, clients and sales in top economic times. Never burn bridges. As a sales professional, you are all about building them, not destroying them. And if you think you rubbed someone at a company the wrong way, find out when you did and fix it. How money and debt had built the American dream. But the business community was not ready voluntarily to come back to the political bargaining table until it was certain that FDR-style big government was dead and buried. Explore Sydney. Good leaders ask a great question, your foundation for successful leadership. When is the right time for a successful leader to move on to a new position? Leaders often get restless. The paradox of choice, why more is less. How the culture of abundance robs us of satisfaction. Satisfaction with life at scale. In most ways, my life is close to ideal. Integrated project management. The project manager asks which task should be entered first. 366 meditation on wisdom, perseverance, and the art of living, featuring new translation of countless things happen every hour that require advice, and such advice is to be sought out in philosophy. There is a story about Cato the Elder, whose great-grandson Cato the Younger became a towering figure in Roman life. The Knights of the Handbook, simple instruction for making a big difference. Volunteer to be a translator, whether it is at school, church, the office, or even at the grocery store. Your ability to translate and communicate in another language will prove useful. Just see the need and feed it. The bare necessities of business. Building a company with a heart. When planning an advertising campaign, choose the medium that delivers the biggest audience for your business at the best price. Your advertising needs probably fit into one of the first two categories, but you will no doubt want to place some ad to help identify and establish your brand and reinforce your standing in the marketplace as well.